Hello and welcome back to Song Surveys on Sofas with Superheroes, the sub-series Switch-a-Roo. So last week, if you remember, I did a new song, even though it should have been an old song, purposely just so that I could do this particular older song this week in honor of the lead singer of this band. So the song is The Twist by Frightened Rabbit. And last year on May 10th, Scott Hutchison committed suicide, and unfortunately, that's it for Frightened Rabbit in terms of ever being able to see the original lead singer, and that really makes me sad. I have had many fond memories at their concerts, and yeah. So anyway, let's talk about the song. So the song opens. The song overall is just like this pretty epic buildup, and I really appreciate the subtlety of them starting with like just this piano and kind of like building all these little pieces as you go, and kind of finally ending with this full sound. And we'll definitely talk about that as we kind of go through the song. But so it starts with like just this like fast-paced piano, which like continues throughout the entire song, and keeps going once the lyrics start as well. So there really isn't a huge change once the lyrics start. And again, we'll kind of talk about where the add-ons come in. But yeah, so just piano, and then we go into the lyrics. So I really love the first verse. It's kind of broken up into parts with ahs, right? So it's like the first part, and then this like ah, and then it goes into the second half. And that also kind of separates the verse and the chorus as well. So that's at least the first chorus. Okay, so the first verse, right? It's like, but definitely about these two people dancing. And, the first line is do the twist, right? So that's like in your head mental picture of someone doing like the dance, the twist. And then I love, it's like in your twisting outfit, the loose tie, the loose limp wrists. So I really like the image you get of just this like girl in this flowy dress who's like spinning around and twisting, and then this guy who has clearly like loosened his tie, maybe unbuttoned the top button. And in my head I see it as like they rolled up the sleeves, and then because of just like the pure movement of it, the sleeves have kind of fallen, so they have like the limp wrist, so it's not like tight and buttoned up. So I do love that image you get of just like this like maybe like hot sticky moment of just like them dancing. It's pretty cool, well done. I really liked how they used the chorus. How they used the lyrics to kind of get that image across. And then in the second half of the verse, the line that like totally enhances it and makes this image like perfect in my head is, "Did you blush then when our hips touched? I can't tell, we're already red." So I really like that line. Like it just totally adds to it. So clearly they're just like in this moment together, and then when they touch each other, he like can't tell if she's kind of excited about it or if it's something different. I don't know, I just really like that line, and I think it definitely adds to that first part of the verse that talks about the fact that they're dancing and kind of in this twist. Okay, so then this second part comes, and I think I figured it out. I'm not sure. And if you know, please someone tell me. And maybe you can find it on the internet. I just have never really looked, because I guess I just like knowing what the song means to me personally, as opposed to what it really maybe should mean, which is maybe not a great thing. But the lines are, "Is it pink mist or just lit dry ice?" So a couple years ago, I looked up what pink mist was, and it's like the blood that's left in the air immediately when someone gets blown up. So that's one part of it. And so for me, that's either like, this is like a post-war, which on the CD they talk about, there's another song that kind of would fit that theme. But so in my head, it's like either this guy is like kind of like going through a flashback, or it's like a metaphor, right? Like this is just like a like mind-blowing experience that he's experiencing right now with this girl, and so he like really just like is like blown away that she's even like interacting with him or something like that. And then the second part is lit dry ice. So obviously nowadays there's like fog machines, but when I was doing research for this particular song this week, the only thing I could maybe find was that they used to use dry ice for like the smoke effect in a concert So I can, again, like picture maybe on stage there's this band playing music, which would totally go with this whole like old-timey war thing, because they probably didn't have DJs back then. It was probably a full like musical band. And so they use this lit dry ice to kind of like this dry ice with light behind it to make this like effect of this fog. I think that's what it is. I don't know. Again, if someone actually knows, that would be awesome. So yeah, I don't know, but I do still like the line. And again, it just kind of creates that image, especially once you kind of know what pink mist is. And again, I didn't know it for years listening to the song. And then finally I was like, all right, I should probably figure out what these lyrics mean. And then when I looked it up, I was like, oh, that's what it means. And then, you know, when you look up lit dry ice, there's not really a lot that comes out, except for the fact that I did see at least a couple images of a stage with like the smoke behind it. So that's what I'm assuming based on that one thing that I found. Okay, so anyway, then there's like an extended ah, and the tambourine comes in, which again, it's like so subtle, and you just have been listening to this piano, and then the tambourine comes in, and again, it kind of just stays there throughout the whole rest of the song. And I really love it because so between the chorus comes in and the music doesn't really change, but the ahs change. And I think that's really cool because it's such a subtle change, but it's so effective because then you have this ah that kind of, again, it's like all this buildup, right? So you start with the piano and then you have these like subtle ahs that kind of come in and then leave. And then you have these ahs that have kind of stayed, but they've changed. And then the tambourine comes in. So I really, really like that a lot. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm just reading because I kind of skipped ahead in my notes. Anyway, so I love the chorus for two reasons. One, it changes at the end of the song. So the first chorus is very different from the last time the chorus part is sang. And two, they use the word twist to mean two different things. So I really like that just use of the word twist, and that's the title of the song, and that's the first line, and then it's used differently, and I really like that. So anyway, the idea of the chorus is that this girl has gone home with him or has brought him back to her place, more like brought him back to her place. And then she like calls him the wrong name, but he's like, whatever, I don't really care. Like, it's fine. You can just call me whatever. And so I really like that. And then before the second verse comes in, the ahs are changed, and this time they have like additional drumming added as well. And I really love the line in the second verse, let's pretend I'm attractive and then you won't mind. And then also I can be who you like and I'll quietly leave before it gets light. So I just like love those two lines, especially when you look at them like together. So let's pretend I'm attractive. And then like, I love that it says let's and not just you, or you can pretend, or you should, or you'll pretend. I like that it's let's, right? It's like both of them have to be invested in this like image of who this person is in order to make this work. So it's almost like really heartbreaking, right? Like this guy who should just kind of like be fine with his own self is clearly like, well, we'll both pretend like this, like clearly you need to pretend, and then I can just also like go with this like fake image of what you have and make it what I should be, which is like sad. And then I also love like I'll quietly leave before it gets light, right? Like he doesn't want to ruin the image that she'll have pretended him to be before she can see him in the light of day. So again, it's like really actually kind of sad, but I do like those two lyrics. Yeah. So then the music, so then they play the chorus after that, and there's not a huge change from the first chorus, especially not lyrically, but the music does get like more full, and you kind of have this more full music sound, and then the bridge begins. And so the last two lines of the chorus, which are I need human heat repeated, so the last two lines are the one line, I need human heat repeated, are sung in the foreground while music plays, and in the background this line is kind of sung and repeated throughout the bridge. And so this is where I kind of fall apart. And again, if you know, please tell me, because I have no idea. I've listened to it so many times, like concentrated so hard and really was trying, and I just couldn't figure it out. So according to Google, it's it's the year, oh super very. But I also found one site that said, it's me, you are, sorry, I messed that one up. So according to Google, like 2 different sites that I looked at for the lyrics say, it's the year, oh extra super very. I don't think that's the line. I hope it's not the line, because it really just doesn't make sense when it could be all these other lines that I've been thinking of in my head. Another line, another website said, it's me, you are extra super very. And then I personally for years had thought it was next to me, you are extra super very. And listening to it, I mean, who knows, it could just be, it's true, you are extra super very. I honestly don't know. So those are like my theories. The 2 at the end would be the things that I think. Next to me, you are. It's definitely not that, but because when I listen to it again, saying different things, it's definitely not next to me. But I love that, right? Next to me, you are, like, compared to me, you're like definitely this awesome, extra super very wonderful person. But then also I like it's true, which I just thought of like writing this, but yeah, so I don't know which one it is. But anyway, okay, so that being said, Extra Super Very is actually like a transition song on the album. So it's like 1 minute and 17 seconds long, and it starts with just like this music, and then at the very end of the song, it just kind of repeats this line. And again, when you look on Google for lyrics to Extra Super Very, the lyrics are, it's the year, you owe extra super very. The reason I don't think it's the year is because at the end of this song, the twist, it repeats just the first 2 words. So it would be weird if it would be it's the, that just doesn't make sense to me. Whereas if it was at least it's me, you could say it's me, or it's true. So I don't, or next, yeah, I don't know what it is. But anyway, the whole point of this whole crazy thing is I love the effect of it. I love that he sings like the foreground part, and then in the background, this is kind of like just in the background, but I also love that it connects to another song, which totally, again, makes me think that this is related to the like album as a whole, right? And that song about like old fashioned, because if Extra Super Very is connected to the twist, then why would it be a far stretch for the twist to be connected to another song on the album? So I really do love that they put that in there, and I think it was a great decision. And I love when bands kind of connect songs in interesting ways, and almost in ways that if you weren't really paying attention, you might miss it. So I really love that. I think they did that was a really good choice putting that in the background, and I love that it's not really a foreground thing because it is its own song. But it definitely adds that like whole feel to the album, and I really love that. And also it's just like Extra Super Very is just, I for some reason I just like those words together, and then they don't really finish it. You're extra super very, like that's what you are, right? They made like a whole new genre of adjective, like you are like you extra super very. That's just with nothing else after. Like I love that, and I think it's great. And I really love that, and I know that Frightened Rabbit fans know that line and know that word. So yeah, just a really great choice. Really love the bridge of that song. Think it was really well done. And again, it's not like they did anything amazing and fantastic and they changed the lyrics and the music and everything. It's just this build up, and then you get this Extra Super Very in the background, and it's just fantastic. So yeah, I really like that part of the song. And again, still don't know what the actual lyrics are, so if anyone does know, that'd be great. And then at the end, there's definitely another layer added, which it might actually not, well, I think it's added. I think there's another layer of music added. I was trying to like listen really hard, and in my opinion there is, but I could be wrong. But then they go right back into the chorus, but this time it's the changed chorus, so it's not the same, and it totally is awesome. So he asks them to say the right name. So instead of saying whisper the wrong name, he says whisper the right name. And then it also says, twist as if you're just like me. You need company. You need human heat. So I really love that he kind of like changed it. Like, listen, I'm here because I need those things. Don't get me wrong. But like, maybe you should just twist and like admit that you also need those things. And that's why you're here. And that's why you invited me back. And that's like, kind of like, I'm not like the lame one who needs this. you're the lame, like we're both lame and we both need this, and so just like admit it, right? So I love that it changed the chorus. It definitely makes the song feel like more of a story, and I love that. So yeah, really just such a good change. And again, it changes the repetition, makes it not sound the same, and I really love that choice, and I think it's great, and I think it's just like a funny, like, hey, my name's David, so call me by my name. Like, we're both just people who need human heat and connection, and this, like, I love it. I think it's a really well done decision. It was a really good choice to end the song, especially after this like awesome bridge, in my opinion. Really good job. And then after the last line of the chorus is repeated, the music plays for a bit, and you can kind of hear like the repetition of the music, and then there's like that one note, and then it just kind of like ends. So yeah, great song, fantastic band. So sad, and so glad that I get to do this to kind of honor his memory a year later. And yeah, if you guys get into them, I'm so excited for you that you get to experience this just like wonderful music, but I'm also so sad that you'll never get to experience it live, because it really was such a great show. And it's just, you know, one of the concerts I went to of theirs in particular was, sorry, it was an early show, and I wasn't even planning on going. I literally made the decision at like 5:30. I was like, I can make it by 6:30, I'll go. And I shouted at them to play the twist, and he was kind of like, oh God, our drummer really hates playing the twist. And I was like, oh, okay. And then like later on, someone, I guess I must have yelled again to play the twist, and he was like, oh, fine, we'll like address it now. And he asked the crowd if they wanted to hear the twist. And I guess, you know, he was like, well, the drummer was like, well, now how can I not play it after she asked so politely? So they played the twist like just for me, and it was amazing, and it was the first time I saw them, and it was just, God, I was like totally blown away. I didn't even know any other songs other than the twist and my backwards walk, so the fact that they played that song for me because I asked so politely was just awesome. And then I saw them 2 more times after that, and it was just great, and I love it, and their music is so good. And I'm really sad that they will never make new music. Sorry. Anyway, let me know what you think. Comment, subscribe, like, and I will see you guys next week.